The Fed just announced that they will be raising rates 4 times this year to control inflation. It's coming, and no one can stop it now. But the house frenzy is still going on. People are buying and selling homes like crazy. In this video, I'll explain briefly why this is sometimes a good idea and how you could lose a lot of money. Hi there, welcome to your channel, The Foreigner in America, where I teach locals and foreigners everything related to money and personal finances, including investing in the markets, cryptos, real estate, and businesses. So if you're someone like myself who wants to achieve greater wealth in life, you don't settle for pennies but for Benjamins, and you love money, please subscribe to this great channel and hit that bell so you don't miss any one of my weekly videos. Also check out my Instagram and TikTok at The Foreigner in America and my blog under the same name. So without further ado, let's begin. Buying or selling a house is a big process. If you buy, you must be very careful you can afford it first, and I will talk briefly about it. If you're selling, you need to pay a realtor 6% of the house price in commission for their services. Usually people think that skipping the realtor part is a great idea. They end up not posting good pictures on the internet. The description is not catchy enough. The house is not set up appropriately for selling. It's not priced right, and they just made 100 mistakes. What ends up happening is that saving some of that 6% you would have paid to an experienced realtor costs you a lot more. Once your property is listed for sale for more than 30 days, it loses credibility. Buyers start noticing that your house is not selling, so it's either overpriced or has maintenance issues. I've seen houses go from $500,000 to $450,000 to $420,000 and not sell for 90 days. And that is because the person made the mistake of not hiring a professional to sell it. Instead of paying a 6% or 30 grand, they end up discounting the house a lot more. So, if you're selling a home, do it fast. As soon as that first interest rate hike hits and people and builders understand that the government is serious about what they said and are not joking, houses will enter a bear market. Let me explain. It is the law of supply and demand. If I want something that is unlimited and nobody else wants, it will be discounted or cheaper. The moment it is scarce and everyone wants it, like a PS5, price goes up. I saw those being sold for $1,200 just months ago. If you're selling your home, now it's the moment to do it before we enter a bear market. Just get a professional realtor that does a great job marketing and with the whole selling process and attracts good people. But if you plan to buy a house, wait a minute. I have several questions for you. 1. How much can you delay it? 2. Can you afford to rent for 6 more months? And 3. Can you afford your house to drop 30%? When you get a mortgage, the lender wants you to place a certain amount of money as a down payment. It can be 3.5%, 5%, 10%, or 20% for conventional. Some people put more than 20% to have comfortable payments. Why don't they just lend you 100% of the money? Do they need your money? They lend trillions of dollars around the country. They don't need the money. They do it because they want you to have skin in the game. When people have skin in the game, they're more susceptible to care about debt. They're more responsible about payments and all that comes with home ownership. If you stop paying and the lender takes possession of the home, you lose every dollar you invested. If you follow Dave Ramsey's advice and you go for a 15-year mortgage, your payment will be super high, even putting 20% down. So when a crisis hits, real estate prices drop and people start losing their jobs. As you can see, the economy is not doing well and inflation is high. It's just real estate who keeps being solid. Why? Because the government is keeping rates near zero, which translates to around 2.8% for a 30-year and 2.3% for a 15-year mortgage with almost no money down. There is very little inventory, meaning that the houses that builders put in the market quickly get sold at stupid prices. If you buy a house for $500,000 today in the highest markets being with high inflation, if the government telling you that they will raise rates 4 times, you're incurring in a lot of risk. Once this happens, people will stop buying houses. Builders will continue building and increase inventory. Lenders will see a drop in people asking for money and will eventually get stricter on who gets money. The house that you rush buying today at $300,000 with a 3.5% down in an FHA mortgage will put you in a loan for $289,500. Then interest rates go up, people get scared, and the real estate market enters a bear market. That same house you bought for $300,000 is now worth $240,000. So you owe more than what the property is worth. You have negative equity. Think about it. It means that you overpaid for an asset which is making you poorer. You might say, no big deal. Keep paying the mortgage until the market recovers and you get some positive equity back. Correct. But remember, in moments of crisis is when shit happens. It is in moments of despair when people lose jobs, get a medical bill, have an accident, the house breaks down, the car breaks down, anything. When you're not prepared for an emergency, emergencies occur. When you're not carrying an umbrella, it will rain. So, if you don't need to buy a house right now to live, delay that decision. I know it might go up in price a little bit just before the interest rate hike, but then you will thank me. You can experience a drop of 20 to 30%. After the hikes, you could find properties at a 40% discount where you want to live. Imagine that. It's like a Black Friday of properties. If you're an investor, you know right now is not a good time to buy, unless you find an incredible deal that you cannot pass by. At least when you're an investor, you secure the rent and the tenant pays for the rent. So if the property loses value, you're still getting your mortgage paid by someone else. That is if people actually pay the rent and not want to live for free, since you cannot evict them. I had my tenants stop paying rent for 5 months before they got rent assistance, and I finally got paid. If I was living paycheck to paycheck, how could I afford the mortgage? It is something you have to consider if you're an investor. Vacancy and maintenance. If you're buying a home to live in, you have to consider being 33% or less in your debt to income ratio. Let me tell you something very important about this in my foreigner insight for this video. I heard that in the PBD podcast, which I totally recommend you watch, that caught my attention. He said that people shouldn't buy a house unless they had the cash on hand to pay it in full. And I was like, damn, that is super conservative, even more than Ramsey. If I go and ask for a $300,000 mortgage, I should have $300,000 in the bank. But choose not to pay with it, but rather invest it and go get a loan. Interesting. I truly believe that the 20% conventional mortgages will still exist, and the 10%, 5%, and 3% are going to disappear soon. When more and more people stop paying their mortgages and lenders have to foreclose and resell them, they will soon figure out that lending money to everyone on a 3% down payment is stupid. It makes people irresponsible and able to buy a lot of house they don't need or can't afford. I mean, why buy a $300,000 home with a 20% down if I can buy $1 million home with a 5% down? As long as I can afford the payments. Same thing they do with cars, boats, motorcycles, and any other expensive toy. And companies profit from people's stupidity. But remember, take control of your life and take control of your money. So thanks a lot for watching. If you liked my video, press the like button and subscribe to this great channel and hit that bell so you miss any one of my following videos for more advice like this on investing, real estate, cryptos, and all the things that you love. So have a great day, and I'll see you next time.